Saturdays? Hope you guys are doing fine. At home only, no outings. Hi Nawaz. Hi Darshan. Hi Surya Bright. Okay. As I told you guys, when Mr. Madhavan Pillai comes, my comments will be, I will off the comments. Okay. Once the interaction section over, I will on the comments so that you can send questions. That way your screen will be clear, my screen will be clear. Later on we can see the questions. So if you don't see anything on comment in your screen, don't worry because the comments going to be off. Okay, great. Let me see where Mr. Madhavan. Just a minute.
I'm trying to switch the camera to the
front camera. You have to use the front camera.
That's right.
Great.
Hi, how are you?
Yes, I am fine, Madhavan. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you. Thank you for having me here.
It's great to see you. Yeah, it's great to see you after, I think 2 years back. We met in Mumbai.
Yes, we did. And it was a wonderful session that we had. Yes.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Guys,
Let me also say that during this very difficult time, to all of whom are watching, I think that the coronavirus, COVID-19 has created a lot of issues, especially for professional photographers, for whom photography is making a living. But to all of us, we must do our bit. And I think it's also a good time to refresh, to learn something more, to do something. So what you're doing here is actually very wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Madhavan, because I never been live on any social media. Okay, I thought my work is to speak for myself, but this is the time everyone is at home. I thought it's just on promote thought only. Let me invite all my contemporary photographers, everyone, so that we can share knowledge. Okay, people at home, students, others, and young photographers can benefit with this chat. And guys, small introduction about Mr. Madhavan Pillai. Don't worry, my comments are off. After our interaction, the comments will be on. Then you can send your comments. Okay. Now you can see both of us clearly. So don't worry if you are not seeing comments. A small introduction about Mr. Madhavan Pillai. He is a photo editor of Better Photography magazine, one of the #1 photography magazine. And not only he is editor, he does, his body of work is very varied, and I think lot of commercial photography and documentaries, and he's jury for the international awards, national awards, and his magazine conducts lot of contests every year, wedding photographer of the year and wildlife photographer of the year, and his caliber is very high profile and bio is also big. So I am going to cut short. Welcome to my Insta live with Radhika Madhavan. I really appreciate with all your busy schedule you agreed, because you guys are working at home. So how you manage this lockdown situation? Because you guys have to work. You are working. You have the deadline to see. So how was it?
Absolutely. It was actually quite tough because it happened very fast, and because of the speed of which it happened, we were unable to actually do a lot of the things that we initially wanted to. For instance, at the end of on the 16th, 17th, and 18th of this month, of last month of March, we were supposed to have the face-off of the Wedding Photographer of the Year award.
So the
six finalists were supposed to come together, get that done. We were supposed to have a final event of that.
Yes. Every year you conduct,
Every year we conducted, and the final that was supposed to go in the magazine. None of that happened. We had to call it all off. And then suddenly we had a lot of data, a lot of content in the magazine that was going missing. We had to fill that up, and we had to do it from home. So the whole thing is actually quite tough. Actually, we have a very good IT team support at the back, who really helped us. As being a part of the media also helps us because we become a part of essential services, which means that we are allowed to do a bit of traveling, allowed to be at our workspaces. Of course, our company was very particular about the kind of hygiene factors and the kind of disinfection that used to happen in the office. A number of people who can come to work. But for the first few days we managed. We collected all the data, brought it to our home, and then we completely new.
Oh, that's great. And recently I came to know, even I also said the link, Madhavan, this month you make it online freely. This
Yes,
is a
yes.
huge effort from your Better Photography team, because I know the sales of Better Photography and 1 month income, you guys leave it to free online. So what was the beginning thought, this gesture? It's a really nice gesture, and congratulations to you on behalf of photography,
Thank you.
other photographers. I really appreciate this, because even people sitting at home, even some people, even they can't spend even small amount also with mobile, they can read the magazine. And I got many response also. Thanks, madam, for the link. And it's really nice gesture, Madhavan. Please share us what was the beginning this nice gesture.
Thank you so much. Firstly, the magazine is available. If you go to our website, for everyone who's viewing this, the magazine is available for free download. You can click on the link and download the magazine just by putting in your email address. Okay. The reason why we actually did this was because we realized that a lot of photographers, especially, were at home, and it is a very difficult time, especially for photographers like us. For instance, you are, I've heard from other people that you are capable of walking for something like 8 hours a day. Now, for someone like you to be at home, walking 8 hours of a day, it's very difficult. So one of the things that we wanted to do was to spread the word that Better Photography is also concerned about photographers. We are also we find that especially for professional photographers for whom livelihood comes from photography, it becomes a very difficult thing to be at home. But we must do this. It is very important that we keep our social distance, and to help that effort and to ensure that that we are doing something for them. We made this gesture of having our issue completely free.
That's great. That's great.
We will continue this until the situation gets manageable.
Okay. And before being editor-in-chief and all, you did the corporate videos and other campaigns. Still, you have time to do all these things?
No. Once you become the editor, especially of a magazine like photography, it's a 24/7 job. And I had to leave my commercial life behind. So my commercial assignments were limited to the time when I was independent and I was doing work with agents. It ended there. But at the same time, being the editor of a magazine gives me a lot of scope to do a lot of self-development and learning.
That's good to know, sir. Yes, that's good to know. Okay. And actually, when we're talking about prints, magazines and all, when I started 2003-4 and all, we used to wait for the Better Photography magazine to come, because there is no source in internet. Only for the reviews and articles, we wait for the magazines to read, and it's like a Bible, like photographers for us, it's a Bible. We used to wait, everyone will subscribe and everyone will get the magazine copy issue. And we discuss also after reading how the photography is, features and all, we usually discuss. And really the photograph, even amateur point of view also, seeing our prints is a really pleasure to see, Even now also I usually take at least minimum 8 and 12 print, then see your quality of image, But these days I find it, most of the amateur photographer, hobby photographer, they take lot of photograph and few they process, then they post in social graph, that's it. The life of the photograph is from camera to posting social media, that's it. The ends, they don't least bother to take print out and enjoy the photograph. So would you like to share your views why it is? Is there any suggestion you give why it happened like this?
It's a sign of the times, I must say that. It's something which is happening because social media, people will actually people might not remember this, but social media is really not all that old. Barely, like, if you think about it, 10 years ago, just 10 years ago, there was social media was at a very nascent beginning level.
Yes.
12 years ago, 13 years ago, it was almost non-existent in India.
It's
not all that old, and times will change. Times will be different, and things will go on. At the same time, there was social media caused a big dip in printing. India especially is a very different ballgame from the rest of the world. So let me just say that also. Let's say if you look at all the printing labs, photo labs, 95% of all their business okay, comes from wedding photography.
Oh,
Okay,
yes.
so
Okay, yeah.
wedding photography is a very big supporter in terms of
Of the
especially
printing business. Okay, fine.
printing business. 95% of them have that.
Okay.
And, so many of the times these wedding photographs go into albums and then they never get looked at, but they get looked at after generations and
Generation.
and sometimes
The thing about photography print itself, even for so many years, we can see digital prints, unless until you put it in a cloud or somewhere, you will miss that thing.
No, let me just say that the problem with today's photography is that when you make 300 photos, okay, how many photos are you actually keeping in the back of your head and remembering? Okay, maybe you're shooting 300 and 400, and I know some 2,000 photos in a day. What are you remembering?
Yes.
That's
there. Yes.
You have a print that it appears in the corners and the peripheries of your vision at some point or the other. So let me give you an example. I was anticipating that this question might come up. Now, this is something that I keep in my, this is something that I keep in a plastic box with my headphone. Okay, this is one of my closest friends.
Okay.
He passed away in 2011, and this is something that I keep. It's a small little thing of memory that his family had written. Okay, now this is something that I keep in my headphone box.
Headphone, okay.
I have different kinds of headphones, and every time I change my headphone, I see this. Okay. So
but still, I find, you said wedding photographies are great, but any contest and all, people are sending, as a photographer, amateur photographer, how he knows without taking printout, seeing the clarity, image quality and all, that is, I think, still lagging part. People are happy with seeing digital print, that's it. I think in I started, I still remember my first interview came on 2007 February in Better Photography. Okay, I have that magazine also. This is the what do you say? It says on Happy Hunting Grounds. Okay, this is the shot. The beauty of this shot is the next issue. Mr. T.N.A. Perumal sent letter to the editor. I congratulate this photographer. This is a common shot. Is very good. It's still my happy memory. I was so excited. And usually those days still I think when you printed by our features comes in Better Photography, then you arrived as a photographer. Okay, usually think. So it was really honor to me that time they printed like this. And still now you get any letters to the editor because we usually write sometimes that, see, you guys are doing so much work, so much effort, and simply we read and we just write also. Even I used to write. We used to wait whether they publish also. Don't publish, that is a different thing. But still we used to read the letters to the editor. Still you get letters to the editor. Any interesting letter?
Yes, we do. We frequently. It's not as frequent as it used to be because in the old days people would actually write it.
Yes.
On a
post
inland letter.
Inland, yes.
They would write in the inland letter and they would send it. In fact, I have several of those which I really treasure. I have it with me. It's in my table and it never leaves my desk.
Okay.
I valued the thought that somebody took the effort and the patience to write that letter and send it. In my hand.
Time to write and keep using post also.
Correct. But now, of course, it's email, and we do keep getting into by email. Let me say that one of the important things, even today, print has certain value. Like, for instance, an image published online and an image published in Better Photography in the magazine, there is a different kind of value to it.
Yes, definitely.
Let me see one of the letters that was published.
Please state.
This is an older issue. The other thing about having a magazine like Better Photography is that it doesn't matter how old the issue is.
Yes.
You can always find an interesting idea.
Yes. We always keep all the magazine at home.
Yeah.
We won't sell that. We won't give old magazines. Yeah.
So whether it's an interview or whether it doesn't get dated, and these letters also don't get dated.
Yeah.
We receive about 5 or 6, very important, and we choose the kind of emails that we actually publish in the magazine.
Okay.
So this is a letter written to us by a gentleman from Kolkata by the name of Madhusudan Chatterjee. Okay. He says that photography is a liberating medium. Photography in the last 4 years has acted as a stabilizing agent in my life. Almost a decade ago, when I was a fresher adjusting to a corporate 9-to-5 job, my mental health was vigorously tested time and again. due to work. I explored the option of therapy, but it did not seem to help me. One Monday, however, I was reliving my monotonous routine. I started making photographs on a whim. I had just glanced upon a toddler with fear in her eyes, tugging at her mother's sari during the rush hour madness of public commuting. A few images from that day felt like a healthy distancing from my personal sense of order, my personal sense of disorder. From then on, I have been shooting regularly. Photography, more than anything, has been a doorway to hear stories of other people sailing in the same boat. Now the hustle and bustle of daily life provides solace as it plays out like a film when viewed through a camera phone. Somehow, I have begun to feel happy to be a part of it. Therapy, I believe, can also be what one indulges in, a different practice for everyone that pulls you away from our cluttered minds. Now, this is a letter that came about a year ago. It was published about a year ago. The thing is that it doesn't matter when you read this, it still has a certain idea and a certain thought. So we keep getting letters like this all the time.
Next question, Madhavan. Nowadays, any news, it comes, I think, within Google and all, we are receiving the news. Anything on Google, you can search. Everything is coming so fast. So this type of scenario, is this challenge being #1 magazine in the print media, and what makes you keep up the same different content, quality content, and keeping up the quality every month after month? Do you brainstorm with your staff, or how it comes, the features and all? Could you guys just say?
Absolutely. My team is everything in the magazine, and on a monthly basis we discuss a lot, we talk a lot, we even argue a lot. Anyone can come up with the smallest of ideas and bring it up, and it could be a very important thing. A person can have a completely opposing idea to the ones that we are publishing in the magazine, or we intend to put in the magazine, and that will be heard. So it's not really like at least for me, they are my second family away from home.
That's great. And most of the young photographers usually ask me how to publish my work. So what are the basic content quality you expect if you want to publish in your magazine? So quality and content wise, please you can share with this so that our fans, viewers can benefit. They can think of it.
There are many aspects to this. One of which is you need to be visible. Very important. Because if you're not visible, if you want to keep your pictures to yourself and you don't show other people, how are we supposed to know that you even exist? That is a very
definitely.
So you need to be visible. The second thing is you need to have a certain level of cost. You need to have a certain level of quality. Now, what that quality is we have, over the last many years, we have seen a lot of work by different photographers. And let me tell you that very often we end up getting very jaded. Because how many times are you going to see the same kind of compositions? You must have a knowledge of thought, of subject, of
executing also,
even of execution, even technique, or even the way you use your camera or the way you see your image has got to be something unique or interesting about it. And if it does, we will surely pick it up and we will surely explore it.
That's great. And you interviewed many personalities in your, I think more than you were 10 years, more than 10 years you are in chief, more than 10 years I think.
Yes,
you are working as
it's since almost 2008 onwards.
2000, I met 2008 in Delhi Wedding Photograph the Year Award, the conductor, and Mr. Anjuman was a RJ.
Right.
Those days he was just
Ayushman,
sorry.
He was the host for
Yes, I remember. I met you first time, you just joined, and Mr. Yes, Paul was a chief guest.
Oh yes, of course.
We met first time that time.
I
don't know whether you remember or I remember.
Yes, I remember. I do, of course. Yes.
So you interviewed many great personalities and all. Any enriching interview that you really enjoyed? Any personality you you are remembering that interview? Anyone you come across like that?
Many. It's actually surprising how different personalities influence you. Like for instance, in Germany, there is a very famous jazz musician called Till Brunner.
Okay.
Now, Till Brunner is, he's released several albums. I've heard those albums. I've loved to listen to his music, but I had no idea that he was a portrait photographer.
Wow.
And his pictures were exhibited, and I got a chance to meet him over there.
Okay.
Similarly, in Dubai, I got a chance to meet Sir Don McCullum, the very famous British photographer, known previously as a war photographer. Now he's doing a lot of work within UK. He well into his 80s, and an incredibly, incredible man. Now, people like that always have an effect on you to see the kind of. It made me realize something. It made me realize that, as you age, you don't grow older when it comes to art. As you age, actually grow younger. You grow more focused. You put in more effort.
You try to more experiment also. You are free.
Yeah, you're free.
Yes. Free.
You're completely refined. And
that's great.
That is something that I've realized. That it doesn't matter what age. It can be 70, 80, 90. The refinement that comes through with that kind of thought process and maybe with constraint, and process is out. You're very focused on what it is. I've learned a lot of things. Every person actually affects me in that way, So
that's great. Yeah, you conduct every year wedding photography contest, photograph the year, Madhavan. And have you seen how you see the wedding photography market, the evaluation? Before it's a different, just family photo. Now later on the candid photography, the lifestyle. Then now it becomes the short film they have to make. Along with photography, they have to make a wedding film also. It's like a production, producing small production with a bride and group, and so much production is involving, other people are involving. So how you see the evaluation, and you also conduct live contest. So have you noticed our photographers, daily they think out of box from last, I think it's more than 8 years you are conducting the contest. What
it's been
you are seeing? Please share your views, Madhavan.
It's been 9 editions of the contest, and it's changed in huge ways. Photography, wedding photography has changed in huge ways. Acceptance of it has changed in really massive ways. It used, for the want of a better term, it used a sort of a second-hand profession. You got into wedding photography if you really could not get a job. That used to be the condition. Let's say about 2 decades ago, or even 15 years.
Yes.
That has completely changed. Now it is a preferred profession. People want to be wedding photographers.
Yes.
And amongst all the commercial levels of commercial areas of photography,
it's a high commercial. Yes.
Wedding photography is very viable. So of course now there would be, I think for 1 or 2 years there would be a dampener in things because of this virus. But even then, even the previous recession that we had seen in India a few years back did not affect wedding photography. Great. But that also brought about a lot of young people who are getting married started choosing their photographers for their style, for their content, for the kind of photography that they did. So a lot of young and very interesting kinds of photographers suddenly started seeing that there was potential. There was potential for their kind of work to get recognized and noticed. So we are seeing more of that, and that is actually very exciting. The one other aspect, let me just say about wedding photographer of the year. The thing that makes me the most happy is that 2 things actually. One is that we are able to build careers. People who win this contest are, they are catapulted into a new level of professional work. The second thing is that we are now beginning to see entries from small parts of India, from rural interiors, even from small towns, really tiny towns of weddings. Because people think of photography and they think affluent weddings, huge weddings. People think about the super elite kind of weddings. We are seeing beautiful stories, and I'm saying the most moving, heartwarming, beautiful stories coming from tiny little villages, and that is what I think that that is our success.
And one advice I would like to ask from you. See, photographs are coming, and after 2-3 weddings, they become big name, and the grow and that interest and little bit of graph is going low. So, what are the 2 things they have to keep up to be on the front line? Any advice, suggestion For wedding
specifically
photographers, yeah, wedding photographers.
I think it's very important for wedding photographers to practice different genres of photography.
Okay.
Wedding photography as a profession is fine to practice, but also at the same time you must understand that photography is also portraiture. Photography is also street photography. It is, you know, in a wedding photography is composed of so many different kinds of photography, and unless you are keeping yourself interested by doing your own personal kind of photography, exploring the medium as a form of serious form of art, not just documentation, you know, you are missing out, and that will teach you a lot about. It will change your wedding photography too. So I think it's very important for a photographer to explore other areas.
Yeah, that's good point, Madhavan. And you have been to jury for many national, international contests and all. So as a jury, what are the qualities? What are the features you expect winning stars? What makes you to stop and see? Any tips for young photographers who wants to participate in the contest and all?
Okay, so let me just answer this in two ways. One is that, you know, there was a phase when a lot of photographers from Calcutta would win a lot of photos. You know, if you remember. So, you know, being very precise and calculated as to, you know, understanding what the judge will really want to see. Okay, becomes now a lot of those photos are very, very interesting for international juries. Okay, because they've not seen something like that before. You know, but for an Indian jury, that would be a little jaded, or that would be a little. You know, we have seen that sort of thing before. For anybody participating in a contest, you got to realize that there are two aspects to it. One is, of course, your expression, okay, which is very important for the judge to see. But the second is also about being smart about, you know, the contest that you're entering into and understanding the nature of that contest. If you put the both together, okay, there's a great likelihood that you will come up. As a judge myself, I tend to go for images that are a little different from the
usual stuff.
Usual stuff. You can't ignore the usual stuff either, okay, because there are rules. There are rules of composition which actually. But at the same time, you want to explore. You want to see how a photographer has thought differently. You know, how much of information has been put into the image, or how much of emotive content is there in the image. So even that makes a big difference.
That's great. Yeah, that's great tip also. And next, you've been to all genre photography. You have seen a lot of photographs also, like street photography, and you conducted many, I think, workshops too. Any advice for the street photographer? For example, I see always Pushkar, Varanasi, then Vrindavan, Holi. The three things, the usual things every year I am seeing. Okay, any contest, any cultural. For example, last year National Photography Contest, I don't know how many photographs from these three places. Okay, but our India has a rich cultural, and every nook and corner we have so many festivals, so many other things are going on. So why they are thinking of going there and all? Any suggestion for the street photographers?
Yes, you must explore. Very often. Yeah, very often I think that, you know, the places closest to you might yield some fascinating results if you actually go and spend some time there. You know, for instance, I live next to Bazaar. That Bazaar is absolutely wonderful, but honestly speaking, I have not photographed there much. I'm missing out, you know. So exactly. So sometimes it's nice to go out, you know. Sometimes it's nice to wander around, go to a different place. That's true, but I think we should learn how to be fascinated by things that are closest to us. Maybe even our own home. There might be a story happening in our own home which we are ignoring. Even that is street photography in a way.
Yes. And one more thing, you do review a lot of gears and latest technology, lenses, cameras. Just quick answer, mirrorless in the future or DSLR?
I think everything is going to be, unfortunately, that is the way. I would say unfortunately, because when you have a camera that slows you down, when you have a camera that is that where you have to think about what you're doing, it changes. It's like analog photography. You know, you always have to think about. You were very limited.
No, why I am asking, Madhavan? I always getting these days. I am using DSLR. People are asking, why you are not going to DSLR mirrorless? Guys, my camera serves my purpose. Why should I change now? You know? That's
Correct.
my answer. Usually people think the camera, that's why I've just said what you think of mirrorless.
No,
or
so far, I think companies like Canon or Nikon, who have been manufacturing some of the best DSLRs in the world, these companies have not just kept up, but they have actually pushed the envelope. You know, so their top of the line DSLRs are still very significant, especially for photographers like you. You into mirrorless now, but mirrorless is catching up. You know, so the
definitely
speed,
at one point we want to change. One point we want to change.
one point,
Definitely,
happen. Yes.
Okay, and we are closing time. But thing is, the last one question, Madhavan. Any advice for the upcoming photographer to be in this career, in the photography field? How to save their career? Because sometimes, as soon as they get for even DSLR, they are taking photograph, they are posting Insta and all. After getting few likes, they want to become overnight photographer and become successful. So how it should be? If they want to be really in this field, any genre field, what are the things they have to prepare and how they have to prepare themselves to be in this field? Please just give some tips.
Let me draw a parallel here, okay, with, let me say, another profession. Okay, photography is not unlike any other profession. In the first place, I think young photographers need to understand that. Okay. If you wanted to become a lawyer, how long does it take? What is the level of education that you require? If you wanted to become a doctor, what is the kind of education that you require? How much of practice do you need to put into it to reach that level? Okay, 10 years, 15 years, you know, that is the average. Now, photography is not a shortcut.
Yes.
You know, photography is not something that, you know, honestly, unfortunately, the scenario is also that a lot of wedding photographers have become successful very quickly. In 5 years or 7 years, you see wedding photographers reaching an extraordinary level. Okay, that is something that is time related. It may not be in the future, but photography takes effort. It takes, you know, education. It takes time.
Yes. And for me also, Madhavan, sometimes they ask how to become photographer. I used to wonder whether if you go and heart surgeon, I want to become heart surgeon. Within 1 week or within 1 year, you can do it. No. I don't know why this thought comes to our young boys, but I won't blame them because all this crazy with all the Instagram, Facebook, everywhere. But it's good also. They want to become photographer, but at least little bit research will be help them. What are the course I have to do? What interest there? Which genre of photography interest? Simply someone is successful wedding, it doesn't mean that you have to be a wedding photographer. You may be interested in travel photography.
Correct.
So they have to choose which genre they like. You know?
So there are many specializations in photography which cannot be replicated by just buying a camera. You know, you have to really understand the subject and then shoot. Only then can you produce results in those very specialized areas of photography. But not just that. Even if you today's cell phone, today's camera, you pick it up from the box, you aim it somewhere, and you'll get a decent exposure.
Yes, even it's easy because all the features are there. Auto boot, you can take super photograph. It's very tough to get bird photograph. And,
correct. It's very tough to get bird photograph. Landscape photographer, you might be a tree photographer, you might be shooting leaves, you might be shooting macro. Whatever it is that you're doing, there is a certain inherent beauty in nature. The question is, you in the picture. You know, are you just taking the thing, releasing the shutter, and there's some image that is coming out of it that you've seen, but where is the photographer's contribution in the picture? Unless the photographer is not unless the photographer is not
giving, what you are contributing. Just camera takes, that is I think camera takes everything. What's as a photographer contribution? That they have to ask the questions. You know?
Correct.
And
it's a constant question.
Request, Madhavan, you guys are conducting photography, wedding of the photographer the year and all of Delhi, Mumbai, and I think Bangalore. So when you are going to conduct one in Chennai? Chennai also we have great photography, people are there, photographers are there. Please do consider Chennai. You will get really warm welcome and loads of people to attend.
Thank you.
Think about it in future. Think about it in future. And thank you, Madhavan, today. Just agreeing to come with me, Insta with me, because it's really busy. Still, you agree to come, and I really appreciate it.
Not at all. Thank you. Thank you so much.
You just want to tell anything to viewers? Just
yes. I think this is a wonderful time. Okay, so two things. One is that, of course, work from home is a situation that we have. So please do work. It is important for you to be occupied. At the same time, this is a really, really good opportunity to connect with your family members, make pictures of them, take photographs of them. It's a great time to do family photos, do some selfies, with your family members. Do some posed photographs with family members. Put your camera on a tripod and make some pictures. It's a wonderful opportunity to spend time and do these things, because we often ignore that during these days. Our busy schedules and busy lives, we often ignore our family. I think it's a great time for us to spend time with our family.
Connect with people, connect with and learn also, read books also, and you have a lot of resources on the net. Just spend, utilize that time. Don't say I am bored. That is a bad word. Why you are bad? So many things to do.
Yeah,
it was a pleasure to have you, Madhavan. And
thank you so much.
Be safe and take care of your entire team also. I wish you all the best. I am expecting future also. You keep up the same content and quality. I really looking forward every month your magazine. Okay. From first
Thank you very much.
Now also, I am a regular reader. I am fan of Weather Photography magazine, and I wish you all the best. Okay.
Thank you.
Wish you the same. After issue, I expect stunning pictures, everything. Okay.
Well, I hope I can do justice. Thank you so much.
You say my regards, hello to Samira ji also. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
I will.
Bye. I'll take a leave. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Photography. Hope it was useful. Okay. If anyone missed the full interview, it's going to be story. And this is next time to invite Miss Sri Nandi for Service Magazine. Okay. Now I log off and I'll come back. Please be online. Okay, guys. I will be coming now.